welcome to Subjective History. And today we're going to talk about Cyrus the Great. I love, ancient history, and Cyrus the Great is very interesting. The name Cyrus means farsighted, and to bestow love, to bestow care. And in history, Cyrus knew the laws. He was very well acquainted with them, and he saw them under the old um, way of looking at it, like Nebuchadnezzar with Marduk and Ishtar. And it's still the same story, but it changed. Everyone believed it as Marduk and Ishtar, and Nebuchadnezzar is really the last one that thought of it that way, because then came Cyrus. And Cyrus recognized that, they're telling the same story in another way, and I don't care. Everybody's me pushed out, and I'm going to treat them all great. I'm going to bestow love on all of them. And if you look at the artwork of Persepolis, I hope I didn't torture that too badly, and some of the reliefs that have been found in Babylon and Nineveh, but mainly, the ones that pertain to Cyrus, you'll see that just like with the Chinese Emperor Qin and his tomb and all the terracotta soldiers, and each one was a little different, each person in the reliefs are a little different. And the stories being told there and in the reliefs in the palace that go up at Persepolis, to where the king would sit, and Cyrus. So they would go up the stairs, and everybody, objective man says, oh, they made it this big because, they were glorifying their power and all this other stuff. And no, it was really about glorifying God and making everyone know that, you're in the presence of one who knows that they are God and man. And you build great big places in a place where it's hot because cool air falls and hot air rises. So the statues of them being enormous and stuff, yes, those were representing the power and glory of God and man. And then if you look at the beards, everything's a little spiral. It's a spiral, or it's like a flower. It's always showing, that Fibonacci, that swirl, that life, that's life, that swirl, okay, that vortex. That is life. And it's in everything. And you'll see it in their beards, and you'll see it just all over their artwork that surrounded the temple. And then there's this one relief that is, I'm killing you guys. And it's because, they won't change what they think. Okay, if you're going to continue to think this way, you got to go. And he was no less than Genghis Khan in that. And then there's this other relief of all the different nations or cities and stuff that he was king over, which in his mind, he was king of the world. That was the world that he was aware of, and they all came up, and they all had, very jovial and getting along and putting their hands on each other's shoulders, smiling and bringing their gifts to Cyrus. So, Cyrus is an amazing character. He is one who is, one with God, and he just did not care. He saw everyone with love, and if you weren't going to join in with that, you had to go. You know, that's why you got killed. You know, all you had to do is say, yeah, I love you. You know, and then object, man, you're putting me down. You know, no, you can do whatever you want. You just give me a little of your loving, and I'll give you a bunch of my love. You know, and this is how it plays itself out. And people say, oh, they got lazy, they got this or that or the other. No, they got caught up in the objective world, and they started worrying or giving thanks to themselves for doing it instead of thanks to the one and all. And this is really a difficult thing for everyone to wrap their head around and get, but everybody will get it sooner or later. You are a thought or belief that the one man represents. And you represent it to him, you know, to the one and all. So, yeah, I get it. You don't bow to another unless the other loves you. And then you're just bowing to each other, aren't you? You're just hugging each other. You're just dancing with each other. You're giving and receiving, and it's all wonderful. You know? So it's all on how you look at it. And there's a billion ways of looking at it, that's for sure. But Cyrus was the man, and Cyrus had it down. And he's the silver part of the man that was seen in Nebuchadnezzar's vision that Daniel explained to him. So then came the silver, which was Cyrus, you know, and then you go down into the thinking, which is, you know, then comes the Bronze Age, and the, you know, we can kill each other better with this or that, and, you know, and falling down into the vision, and what everyone calls the Dark Ages was actually the Enlightenment, and what they call the Enlightenment or the Age of Reason is actually, you know, going down into the birth canal, and, you know, into the depths of the dark, and down there with the objective man, and man, this fucking hurts. And then it's, you know, like Cyrus. Then you're like Cyrus. You control the world. And one of the things Cyrus loved to do was garden. And he had gardens everywhere, all over his kingdom. It didn't matter. And you'll see in the reliefs of the artwork there that the turning of the screw, which is how they drew the water up to make the, you know, the Hanging Gardens of Nineveh. And this has also been attached to Cyrus. So he was using this to make gardens. And they had this irrigation system that was just amazing. That you know, covered the front of his palace. So he had this huge, beautiful garden, and seeds from all over the kingdom would be brought to be planted in his garden. And he just loved it, and they all grew there. So it's you know, he was beautifying his world in the way he thought he should. You know, in a time when you had to go out and grab it. You know, but that is what was believed. But as the beliefs change, now we know we can just go within and change it. And as we evolve, and you know, they call it the theory of evolution. Well, evolution is a law. And as your thinking evolves, then the environment and everything else evolves. It's the outside. Okay? As within, so without. And people look for validation from others because as within, so without. The without validates what is on the inside. So, you know, find joy in nature and life and love. And just love, spreading the love. You know? It's all good. It's all very good. We're all different, and it's all wonderful. And Cyrus knew that. And he allowed everyone to be who they wanted, and the Jews went back and celebrated and built, the Temple of Solomon. And it's just wonderful. So, I hope this helps. And blessings to you. Thank you. Thank you for being you.